What's up, y'all? We're gonna do a deck profile. We're gonna talk about magnets and how they work. So I'm actually in Master 4? Yeah, 4. I'm in Master 4 right now. I'm playing magnets. I've named them Magnet Slop, although I kind of want to name them How Do They Work now, just for the meme. But I'm gonna show you the deck. I'm gonna show you some replays. We're gonna get into it. Some people have been playing this with Fiendsmith. Don't play this with Fiendsmith. That's a really stupid idea considering this turns your dudes into rocks and you can't really play Fiendsmith with rocks. Just play like mono rock. Um, because this deck is actually very consistent. Sometimes you'll brick like the Cookie Mirror package, but for the most part, this deck is very consistent. So two droll because if your opponent gets either the Fluuses on you. If it's the one for the extra deck, you can kind of play around it. But if your opponent Fluuses you with the one for the hand, like Parelia, you're really going to want Droll. Same if they see you. If they see you, you're going to also really want Droll. And Droll is just a decent card right now. So, two Droll. One Maxi because it's at 1. Uh, I feel like this card should be at 0 or should be at 2. I feel like 1 is too stacky and 3 is too much. So 0 or 2, and at this point it can go. I actually feel like we don't really need it as counter combo decks since we have Droll and since we have Fluus. But for now, while it's legal, we're running the 1 Maxi. One Emancipator Seeker. So I'm running Emancipator in here because if you have a rock monster on board and you get this out, or you get this out, or you get this out, you basically all of them have the effect of during your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, special summon one excavated uh, level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monsters and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and you can only use the effect of, and then it's that name once per turn. So this has the same effect to do the mill. This has the same effect to do the mill. They're all hard once per turn. The only difference is this one is if you control an Emancipator monster, you can special summon it from your hand. This one's if you control a rock monster other than it, you can special summon it from your hand. And this one is if your opponent controls, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it from your hand. So they all have the potential to beam themselves out in different ways. They all have the potential to mill. Very, very strong engine enables you to do crazy things with rocks. Next we have Beta, the Electromagnet Warrior, which is kind of a retrain of the vanilla Magnet Warriors. If it's normal or special, you can add one level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from your deck to your hand, except Beta. You can only use this effect once per turn, and during your opponent's turn, you can tribute summon him and special summon one level 4 Magnet Warrior from your deck, and it's a quick effect. So very decent. We're only running 2 because there's so many ways to search it. We only need 2. 3 Ash because Ashes are really good in this format. 3 Kokimir Guardian. So during the end phase of your turn, you either destroy it or you reveal one Iron Core Kokimaru from your hand, like you send it to the graveyard, or you reveal a rock monster in your hand. So we're not running the core, we're just going to show our opponent a rock monster. You don't send the rock monster to the graveyard. It's only the core you'd have to send to the graveyard. So for the rock monster, you literally just show your opponent, and that's the cost. So 3 of these guys, and when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute this card, negate the activation if you do destroy the monster. Notice how that's not even a soft once per turn. If you have more than one of these dudes, like from the Emancipators, you can just negate as many monster effects as you want. Well, up to 3, because really you couldn't have more than 3 on the board unless you bring it back in some way. 1 Kokimaru Wall, he's the same as Guardian, except he is for spell cards. So you can stop a spell card. I like running 1 of him. He's been really useful. You'll see him in the replays. Also, we have Red Redfield in the chat, or Red Dead Redfield in the chat, saying, I played against those new heroes. It's a coin flip, but the outs are great. The outs are great. The new heroes actually are surprisingly decent. I've actually even seen them in Master. I feel like they're not really going to be in there for much longer because we're going to get new decks and they'll be kind of phased out. But I feel like heroes finally got the support that they needed to actually be an off meta deck you can play on the ladder and find maybe success in like Diamond with it. We've already covered the Emancipator Analyzer. This one's Seeker, Researcher, and Analyzer, with Researcher, of course, being the best one. Kogimaru Supplier. If a face-up rock monster is sent to the graveyard except during damage step, so even if you link this, you can even if you link something, you can summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add from your deck to your hand one Iron Core Kogimaru or one card that mentions Iron Core Kogimaru except Supplier, so you can basically search Wall or Guardian. You can also, if you want to, you can also play Sandman. Sandman stops traps, and there's another one that stops summons. That's like a Thunder King. So you can pretty much run whatever you need to for the meta. Like if you're like, I'm not that worried about monster effects, and you wanted to have a different out, you could run like one Overload, one Wall, and one Sandman, so you have like one of each. Um, but Overload is the one that stops monsters. So like if your opponent was gonna synchro or do anything that's like an inherent summon, you'd just be like, nope. But this guy is if he's special summoned, you can basically search for any of your Kokimarus, and he doesn't have the effect that you have to reveal, so he doesn't blow himself up at the end of the turn. Next we have Epsilon, the Magnet Warrior. When this card is normal or special summoned, you send one level 4 lower Magnet Warrior from your deck to the graveyard except Epsilon. His name becomes the sent monsters until the end phase. Then you can special summon one Magnet Warrior or Magna Warrior from your graveyard with a different name than cards you control. So he basically lets you get a free summoned, and he's also a name, and you can also use him to send um, Sigma Plus, which we'll go over in a little bit, and we'll go over why that's good in just a moment. Of course, we have three Fluas, not two, three. We're running three in this deck now. I tried it with two. Two was not enough. We just needed to keep up with the meta and refresh our hand, and if we go second, it just gives us a bunch of options. Now that brings us to Sigma Plus. So when you control an Earth monster, your opponent must attack Earth monsters, which that's not a problem because like your entire deck is Earth. We really want it for the other um, effect. While your opponent controls an Earth monster, you can choose the attacks for your opponent attacks. That's also nice. But the main effect we want it for is if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can target one level 4 lower Magnet Warrior monster in your graveyard, except Sigma Plus, and add it to your hand or special summon it. You can only use this effect to Sigma Plus once per turn. So this is awesome because if he goes to the grave, if he's like foolish to the grave by this or by this, because Magnet Bond can also send to the grave, or by Conduction Warrior for summoning condition, which we'll go over in a moment, you literally can send him, and if he's in the grave, you can special summon out him and then just do effects. So it's really, really sick. Or you can send him and then send another one, and then you even get like a third Magnet Warrior off of it. The combo lines just off this card and this card are really good. Next we have Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. Once per turn, when an attack is declared involving two Earth monsters, you can negate that attack. You can only use the following effects of Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using rock monsters from your hand or field, including this card in your hand. And if he is normal or special summoned, you can send one level 8 Magna Warrior from your deck to the graveyard. And then next we have Duotarian. So you can discard this card and add a bonding speller trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a Hydrogeddon, Oxygeddon, or Duotarian in your graveyard, special summon it. You're never going to use that second effect. You pretty much only use the discard and add a bonding spell trap, and you only use each effect of Duotarian once per turn. The bonding spell you're going to add is Magnet Bonding. One Mega Rock Dragon, and you're probably wondering, why are you running Mega Rock Dragon? You can run Mega Rock Dragon, or you can run two Nibiru. The reason I run Mega Rock Dragon is because sometimes my opponent makes like Chaos Angel or something that I have to just like kind of beat over. And the reason this is good is because it can't be normal summoned or set, but it can be special by banishing any number of rock monsters from your graveyard. And it gains attack and defense equal to the number of rock monsters that banish times 700. You're gonna have so many extra rock monsters. Like if you just banish 5 and you're like, here's my 3,500 attack monster, like you can. This deck is great at closing out games with Mega Rock Dragon, and you don't have to run it. This is basically me just being like anime up in here, running my one anime card and master. It would actually probably be better if you ran Sandman to stop Dominus, or if you ran Overload to stop monster summons. This is Sandman, by the way. Um, but this is just me wanting to relive the old days of Yu-Gi-Oh and play it. And I like it. Gives me options for things I have to beat over. Next we have Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus. So this is probably the best card in the entire deck. It can be normal summoner set. Its summoning cost is it must be special summoned by sending 2 Magnet Warriors with an original level of 4 or lower from your hand, deck, or face up field to the graveyard. You can only summon it once this way. So if they warning this and it doesn't get summoned, or if they just like negate the summon, it stays in your hand, or if you have a second one in hand, you can attempt to summon it again. So like if someone warnings it, you can just be like, okay, cool. I have my second Magnet Warrior plus. Let's go. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So also sick. You can only use each effect of Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus once per turn. And the other thing you can do with it is you can target another earth monster on the field. It gains half that monster's attack until the end of the turn, so it can become a beat stick, which further supports why you should cut Mega Rock Dragon, but I love him, so he's staying in there. One Block Dragon, you can run 2, but I've seen this enough at 1. Real quick, with Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus, you pretty much always send like Sigma plus and Epsilon, or Sigma plus and Beta. So 1 Block Dragon, can't be normal summoner set, must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand or graveyard. Rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed except for by battle, so he's blanket protection for your field. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, so if you link him off or you synchro with him, you can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. You can only use the effect of Block Dragon once per turn. That effect. You can summon him more than once, which is awesome. The great part about him is he's 8, and all your little Emancipator dudes are 2, and that's a free Baron to floor. Next we have Tellusion, the Magnum Warrior. This card is like really like mid. It's like exceptionally mid. But sometimes you use it and you need it, so it's staying in here. You definitely only want 1. Can't be normal summoner set. Must be special summoned by banishing 1 Magnet Sigma Warrior plus and 1 Magnet Sigma Warrior minus from your hand, monster zone, or graveyard. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Or if you targeted an earth monster, you can take control of it instead. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card and special summon 2 your banished Magnet Warrior Sigma monsters. So it's like the most it's really just kind of mid, but sometimes you need it. 1 Nibiru, 3 Magnet Bonding, and Magnet Bonding. I should probably go over Magnet Bonding. During the main phase, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use each of the effect of Magnet Bonding once per turn, but you can activate multiple Magnet Bonding. So if you have 3, you can use all 3 effects. The first one is you can add a Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus, or 1 level 4 lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. You can add 1 level 8 Magnum Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Or you can fusion summon 1 rock fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling rock monsters from your hand, field, banishment, into the deck as material. So he helps recycle. Or it helps recycle, rather. And that's it for the main deck. You do have the option of running... where is it? It's another magnet spell. You could actually run Magnet Field if you want to. If you control level 4 lower Earth Rock monster, you can target level 4 lower Magnet Warrior monster and grab it and special summon it. But we're not really running the Magnet Warriors. We're running like Electromagnetic Warriors. It was just an option. The better option would probably be Magnet Induction, which is if you have a Magnet Warrior monster whose level is 4 or lower, you can special summon a Magnet Warrior monster that's 4 or lower from your deck with a different name, the card you control, for the rest of the turn. And after it resolves, Magnet Warrior and Magna Warrior monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects or by battle. So that's pretty sick. Um, but I just want to let you know that that's an option. There's all sorts of magnet support cards. It's actually kind of funny. Next we have Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum. So he's any two Earth rock monsters. All face-up monsters on the field become Earth, which makes his effect really live. And it also can mess with people that are playing like Fiendsmith or other decks that require attributes for, because now everything is Earth. Um, you can only use each effect of Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum once per turn. If he is fusion summoned, you can add a magnet, normal, or quick play or field spell from your deck to your hand, so it can search any of the support. I mainly use them to search the quick play. You can send one level 8 Magna Warrior monster from your deck to your graveyard, and after that resolves, immediately normal summon one level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster. So he's also an extender, which is amazing. Next we have Flux Aschenfeld, and I'm actually thinking about running a second copy. I only made one because I saw people were like running one when I looked at this, and I'm like, oh, I only need one. But he's actually kind of awesome. One level 5 or higher Earth monster plus one rock monster. When he's fusion summoned, you can special summon one rock monster from your hand or graveyard, except Flux Aschenfeld. Um, Aschenfeld. His quick effect is you can target an earth monster you control, which that also could be him, so he can tag out to protect himself from destruction effects, and one card your opponent controls, and return them to the hand. So he's a free bounce. You can only use each effect once per turn and cannot activate more than one in the same chain. He's still very good. One Naturia Beast, because you can just tell your opponent no spell cards. One Naturia Barkion, because you can just tell your opponent no trap cards. I love being able to make either of these. This has won me so many games. This has basically made Odeon like no trouble for me whatsoever. Being able to have access to both of these is just really good. One Emancipator Risen Leonite. Sometimes you need to mill your deck more than just the little Emancipators can, and sometimes you need to do it even more than Risen can. So we're running, Risen, Risen Leo and a Risen Raptite. So both of them are during your main phase. You can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, add one excavated Emancipator card to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. They both have that effect. This guy has the effect of during your opponent's turn, if a wind monster is in your graveyard, you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. Lewis is wind. We don't have fire monsters for this guy, which he lets you do a special summon, so we don't get his effect. I wish we did, but we can actually use Risen's effect because of Lewis, so it's worth mentioning. One Cypher Lord Omega. This guy is like the GOAT. Once per domain phase, you can banish both this face-up card from the field and one random card in your opponent's hand face up until your next standby phase. And once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can target a banished monster you have in control to the graveyard. If this card's in the graveyard, you can target one other card in the graveyard, shuffle both that card in the deck, and shuffle both that card and this card from the graveyard into the deck. So he can like recycle himself, recycle your banished cards. Icy Tours in the chat says, welcome back. Thank you for watching live. If you guys ever want to see me do live deck profiles, live gameplay, live Yu-Gi-Oh shenanigans, Twitch TV/StarLarge Gaming. And the next we have Emancipator Risen Dragite. So during the main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls up to the number of excavated rock monsters, and place the excavated cards in the order of your deck on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this guy can bounce a bunch of cards, which is great, but he can also negate a spell or trap card while you have a water monster in your graveyard. Duotarion's a water monster, so if you use it to search, this card's live. You can only use each effect of Emancipator Risen once per turn. One Baron to floor. One second. One Baron to floor. One Evil Swarm Extant Knight. One Gallic Granite, because Gallic Granite can literally search anything in your deck or special summon rock monsters face down if you need to for some reason, but you can search anything in your deck. one Masquerina, one Asa the Earth Charmer removable, one Little Knight. Part of me is almost thinking about cutting uh Omega for Goddess, just because then I can link my opponent's board away if I have any problems. I think I actually might try that in some plays where I might take out the Mega Rock Dragon, put the Overload in, take him out, and then put in Goddess. I'll try that just because that might be a little bit more competitive, even though Mega Rock Dragon is a really fun. Um, but that's pretty much what the deck looks like. Let's get into a couple replays, and then we're gonna play this live on the ladder. Um, as you can see, I actually like was laddering in Master with this. It's insane. Magnets can actually keep up with the meta. I feel like making all my opponent's monsters Earth is what has been hurting them. Like, not many of these duels last very long because I just kind of clobber the crap out of my opponent. So my opponent sees me, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, bro. I'll stop the C. Then my opponent heralds me to negate the Ash Blossom, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I got more cards out of hand. They stop the conduction, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I'm just not going to play anything, and I'm just going to play wall, because, like, what are they going to do? And my opponent has two cards in hand. Obviously, one of them was a spell card, and they're like, you lose. But I chose to or I won, rather, and they lost. But I chose to gamble on that, and I won. Because I'm like, they probably need spell cards. If it had been a different deck, at least I have Droll in hand and Fluos in hand to hopefully do something about it or draw into Nibiru. But I was like, wall's probably enough. So this game we're going to be a little bit more active. We just drew an amazing hand, and we're just going to go boop, boop, send both, and they're going to go ahead and scoop. And the reason they're going to scoop so quickly is because we're basically going to set up an impossible to break board off of magnets. We're going to have Baron, we're going to have a bounce, we're going to have a destruction effect, and we're going to also be able to search Nibiru. So my opponent at that point pretty much is just out of options. This person wanted to go second, which was weird, and I'm just like, okay. So now you're going to see more active hand. You're going to get to see, I'm going to pause it real quick. You're going to see the combo where I summon him by sending these as cost, and then I use his effect to summon Warrior. They're going to stop that, but I'm like, I don't care. So I'm just going to normal summon this in case they have hand traps, because he can actually stop hand traps. I'm going to beam out Researcher, and they're going to negate the Researcher, and I'm just going to be like, okay. And we're going to go into Raptite. And Raptite gets us another mill, and we get into Analyzer, and Analyzer gets us another mill, and we don't get anything, so we just make Baron to floor. And I'm like, this isn't the best hand or the best inboard, but they have 4 cards in hand, and so they're playing Radiant Typhoon. I've stopped it, and I still have the Baron negate, so they don't really have many options here. And we just summon 2 monsters, and we win. And that was pretty sick. Oh, my stream blooped for a moment. I'm on my good connection. I don't know why it's doing that. So now we're playing against Odeon. I'm going to stop the man with the mark. And this is before the ban list, so it's full power Odeon. They're going to set 4, and I'm just going to be like, okay, bro. So remember when I said about the Solemns? I'm going to send 2, I'm going to summon it. They're going to warning it. And I'm just like, okay, cool, I don't give a fuck. Its effect activates, comes back to the hand, and I'm going to special something. They're gonna start their Apophis monster chains. And I'm like, I don't care what you're doing. Bam. Back to the hand. His effect. They're going to stop the effect with Dominator, Songs of the Dominators. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Dominus is also happening. They're gonna get Purge, whatever. So now I'm just gonna activate him again, and this time they're gonna warning him, and I'm just like, okay, I now have like more things in my graveyard. Fuck it. Here's the third one, buddy. What are you gonna do? They're gonna use this to stop the bonding. And I'm just like, okay, cool, dude. Whatever. So at this point, I drop Researcher. I'm gonna mill, and I'm gonna hope I hit something. And I do. I actually hit a Guardian, and I go into Raptite. And then from there, I just mill again. And hey, look, there's another free Emancipator. At that point, they're gonna scoop because I'm gonna make Baron, and they can go fuck themselves. And so that is the magic of magnets and why magnets are so like surprisingly decent right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. We're gonna play some games on the ladder, but before we do, I want to tell you about the channel sponsor. It's gonna be a really quick plug. Um, the channel sponsor is Dubby. You can go to dubby.gg and you can get some delicious energy drink from them. I really like it more than the canned energy drinks from the grocery store. I also like it more because it just gives me more energy and I don't have like a really bad crash or anything. And you can use code SirLargeGaming to get 20% off. My favorite is the Beach and Peach, and they are still sold out. Please bring it back. I'm running so low on it. I actually drink it like all the time whenever I need energy. They also have anime collabs if you're into that. I actually kind of want to try the solo leveling one or the Chainsaw Man one. I like both of those. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Let's go play some Yu-Gi-Oh!